What is happening? Mediocre people of YouTube. How we doing? Been wanting to make a video for a long time. There's actually several videos I'd like to make. I have not had the time. Literally, it's just I have not had the time. I'm actually forcing myself to take some time right now. Anyhow, there's a lot of things that I could elaborate on. And I will. And there's political things that people do. They want to hear what I have to say about it. And then that video is coming because recently Mr. Elmo B released a video. I hope I'm in frame and all that good stuff. I believe so. Mr. Elmo B released a video just recently regarding two extremely misinformed people here on YouTube. It's really, if they continue to learn as we do, as we grow, I think they're going to look back on it and be pretty embarrassed. But at the same time, there's some simple things to point out as to, I understand why these Democrats are so angry. These people that, you look at the tone deaf guy and all he does is constantly watch Fox News because he's angry, he's upset, he's embarrassed. You ask Democrats right now and they'll tell you, we just didn't know. We just didn't know he was that fucking bad regarding President Biden. They're embarrassed. A lot of them aren't talking about it at all. Those who are talking about it are, typically very angry. They follow Fox News. They try to blame everything they can on former President Trump. When have you ever seen a former president in the media the way you see former President Trump? It's just every day. Usually, presidents, they go away and you don't hear from them for a while. But anyway, we're back into that, stagnant Obama economy with extremely high energy prices and whatnot. So I do need to talk about that in the video. Gerald Ray is doing a live stream where he's having some people call in. I'm going to call into his show and talk with Gerald. He seems like a pretty nice guy, so I will be doing that soon. Probably on his next live stream. I don't know if that'll be tonight or not. But in the meantime, what I've been thinking about lately is, we all criticize the guitars of today and for the past 10 years, and there are guitar companies out there that deserve the criticism, such as, I'm sorry Gibson, but how could I not speak on Gibson when it comes to criticism of guitars? I'm sorry, but if I'm spending $4,000 on your guitar, it better be perfect. It better be at least as good as the $4,000 I'm spending to have a custom guitar built by hand, and I'll get into that more as far as building by hand, because that's, really becoming a lost art. And, a lot of people don't understand what goes into a hand-built guitar as far as having the quality be there, So yeah, we all criticize the guitar, this and that. We talk about, oh, they fucked up here and they fucked up there. But, I kind of wanted to talk about how spoiled we are on guitars, especially the guitars of the last 10 years. Is with the exception of Gibson, as far as quality goes, you can get a $150 guitar and, with a little bit of setup work, you can have a playable guitar. It may not be the most fantastic guitar you've ever had, but like even those, what were those things that they sent us all, those guitars? Oh my God, they sent me one. I gave it to a niece of mine. They sent them to everybody. The Glary guitars. Even those Glary guitars, with a little bit of setup work, they were playable guitars, Weren't the greatest guitars in the world, but certainly something a newcomer, somebody who's trying to learn, could learn on. In my opinion, it's, well, there's good and bad to that. You can learn on a guitar and then go to a higher quality guitar, or do you learn on a higher quality guitar, from the get-go? Because I guess you could go both ways on that, because learning on a guitar that's, say, maybe a little more difficult to play than a very high quality guitar, and then you move to that high quality guitar and wow, it just opens up a whole new world to you. Or should you learn on something that's high quality to begin with to make it as easy as possible for you? And like I said, most of the guitars of today are decent guitars. There's not a bunch of garbage out there the way there was in the 70s and 80s. And it's because of the technology, where technology's come, and CNC machines, Plek machines. And I know there's people who kind of, they thumb their nose to that, CNC and Plek, and that's great, because I think that I wouldn't want the people to lose the art of handmade custom guitars. But you ask Grover Jackson himself, and he'll tell you, I don't want to make guitars the way we used to. That would be ridiculous to build guitars the way we used to build them. We have the technology today, CNC machines and Plek machines. It's just, and now you're not going to get a $150 guitar that was Pleked, but you'll certainly get a $150 guitar that came out of a CNC machine. So, in general, you can get a decent quality guitar for a very little amount of money these days, where, you go back to the 70s and 80s, where, you really did get what you paid for, and, if you paid $50 for a guitar, it was probably, really shitty guitar and needed some major work to even make it playable. Lately, I've been really on the Charvel kick, and they are amazing guitars for not a ton of money. In fact, I've got one right here. Let me just walk in and walk right back out. This is my most recently acquired Charvel. This is a Charvel Pro Mod Dimas. It is what it is. It's not, not Charvel's most expensive guitar. It's certainly not their cheapest either. But it's a fantastic guitar. I mean, it's just amazing. It's got the compound radius fretboard, which I love it, man. I really do. 22 frets, which for me, I like a 22 fret guitar. I'm not a big fan of 24 fret guitars. Why? I don't know. I really don't know, because does it make a difference as far as your playing goes? No. It's not like there's that much more neck there or anything like that. I just I don't know why, but I would much rather play a 22 fret guitar than a 24 fret guitar, and I really don't know the reason for that. So anyway, yeah, this is the most recently acquired, the Dimas Pro Mod. You'll remember my you'll also remember this one, which is also a Charvel Dimas Pro Mod. It's pretty much the same guitar as the other one that I just showed you. It just has a single volume, which I love, because I don't use tone knobs anyway. They're always dimes, so the strap lock is a little loose. But anyway, this one has the maple fretboard and everything, and I think they're just absolutely amazing guitars. So that being said, those two guitars right there, I don't know if you heard me, but that being said, those two guitars right there, back in the day, those were the types of guitars that If you wanted a guitar like that, you were going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it. You know, probably somewhere in the area of 4 to 6 thousand for something like that. Um, that's just the way it was, because that's the kind of work that went into building a guitar like that. You look at, it gives you, and when you think about this stuff, and it gives you a whole new respect for custom builders, like the Guitar Doctor, Scar My Guitar. When they, really build a custom guitar, the kind of hours that go into making a guitar play as well as something like that, that's why you pay the money you pay for it, because it's a lot of labor intensive. Today, not so much, not with CNC machines. So, now we can get, and I said this at the beginning, with the exception of Gibson, because, Gibson is such a disappointment. I'm sorry, Gibson, but you guys are certainly one of the most iconic guitar brands in the world, hands down. And when I see the quality that's being put out, and I know just recently, a couple of years back, they said, "Oh, we're really gonna watch quality control." That came to pass. We've already seen people posting videos with fucking human hairs in the finishes, on a $4,000 guitar. I mean, it's ridiculous what the prices Gibson is fetching for the quality they're putting out. I once went to my local guitar center and brought my Devlin Les Paul up there, and we brought down a $4,000 Gibson, and there was, like, I would rather play my Devlin, to be honest. But honestly, I know a few people who work there, and they were all playing it, and they were playing the Gibson and playing mine, and they're just like, "Holy shit, man!" And yeah, I paid $150 for that guitar, on a whim. I had no idea. And, it was sitting right up there with, $4,000 Gibsons, minus the fucking cuts in your hands from the fretwork that needs to be done on the $4,000 Gibsons. That right there is ridiculous. There is no reason for that kind of stuff. Like I said just a few minutes ago, if I am paying $4,000 for your guitar, it had better be a $4,000 guitar. It better be something special. My Devlin Les Paul, it's a Les Paul. There's nothing unique about it. It's what you would think of as a Les Paul. Feels very fine quality, okay? So if I'm paying $4,000 for a Les Paul, I expect something to be pretty damn special about it. Now, it's kind of hard to compare, Gibson stuff with my, the Aria Pros I own, because the Aria Pros have a different neck, different feel to them. They feel more like a thinner neck, like more like a Strat neck, I guess you would say. I'm not real good at putting labels on how a neck feels, but you guys all know how a Gibson neck feels, in general, and the Aria Pro feels more like the Charvel neck, really, which I love. That's the type of neck I've been going after my whole life when it comes to guitars, is that feel of the old Kramer, the Ibanez Wizard 2, pretty damn good neck. I like that. But these Charvel necks are really top notch right now for me. That's where it's at, is these Charvel necks. They're unbelievable. And of course the compound radius fingerboard is just amazing. I played a multi-scale, what do you call it? Multi-scale fan fret guitar the other day, and I loved it. I always never played one. And I'll tell you what, you would think like you'd have trouble or something, but no, it actually feels more natural, I think. I wasn't looking at the frets as I was playing, but it sure did feel good, and actually it was an Agile that I was playing. There you go. I mean, it's, good, decent quality guitars, and I'm sure the Agile brand has probably become even better than they were. They were known for decent guitars, decent guitars with setup work that could be very nice. So, you know, again, back to what I was saying is that, you know, we're all quick to criticize the guitars, the new guitars that are coming out, and, you know, Gibson gets the brunt of it because they fucking ask for it. Sorry, you guys ask for it, you know. But we're always, you know, critical of them, and that's good, you know, because we need to keep the guitar companies on their toes. But at the same time, I think we should all be really thankful for the quality that's coming out as far as guitars go these days, because it's pretty amazing when you can walk into Guitar Center and, you know, go to a reputable brand, Jackson, Ibanez, Charvel, pick up their lowest line, even Epiphone, and you're picking up a great playing guitar, you know, pretty much out of the box. Probably needs to be adjusted a little bit for your liking, but other than that, it's, you know, nice guitar. So that's all I really wanted to talk about, discuss in this video. You know, kind of see how you guys feel when it comes to this stuff. You know, like I say, it used to be back in the 70s and 80s, not so much the 70s for me because I was a little kid, but in the 80s, you know, you really did get what you paid for with a guitar. You know, if you paid big money for a guitar, you really got a kick-ass guitar. If you paid very little money, you more than likely got a shitty guitar back in the 80s. Harmony was a big company that was big on low-end guitars at the time. Oh my God, if you had a Harmony, you know, and it was true. It was just, part of it was that we didn't understand how to adjust them appropriately for ourselves at the time, but the other part was the quality really wasn't there. But then you spent money on, you know, a nice Peavey or a nice Jackson, and it was just blew you away. So again, today's market, you know, you can go out and buy a $300-400 guitar and they're great right out of the box. So just wanted to see, kind of check in with you guys, see what you guys' feelings are on this. We're pretty spoiled when it comes to guitars out of the box today, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna make the next video, and we're gonna get into it and get into this stagnant Democrat mistake. Peace.